All right.
I ain't gonna say where I'm actually at though. You have to.
Yeah, no, he's in the back cave.
Get on the phone for that.
He's in the back cave for sure. What's going on? Hey, Claudia, how you doing? Claudia must have access to both of us, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's good to see you. Shout out to our day one, Claudia and John Moulton. And where she on? Lady Muse. Lady Muse. Shout out to everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. I'm gonna wait a little bit, get some more people up inside here. Obviously, you guys are tapping in because of tonight's topic. It's a great topic.
Fuck them kids.
Pretty much. Monique said it best. Did you see that movie, right? She said it. Fuck them kids.
Oh, probably not. What movie was it?
It was her last movie that she just recently did about.
Nah, I seen I heard it was good though.
It's killer as hell. But yeah, but
Monique
it's Monique. Yeah, it's Monique. It's Monique.
That's my nigga, and she is very much refined. She's definitely get it, she get it. That's what it is.
She said, "Girl, fuck them kids."
Just saying. These kids need refinement right now. I don't give a fuck what nobody said. I'm hard on all the kids that I teach.
You have to be. They need somebody to be there for them.
We live? Oh,
yeah, we are live.
That's my bad. I mean, I'm just fucking ready to talk.
All right, guys. Everybody, welcome. Welcome to another episode of CMCT. My name is Troy Skinner. I am your host. Next to me is my co-host, the man with the plan, the only one that can stand.
Antonio
Dean, no doubt. Hope you all had a great weekend. We are live right now on YouTube, and we are live on Instagram on the CMCT. No, we're not live on that, but you need to join us on CMCT show on YouTube. And also, you can catch us on our personal Instagram pages. If you've been following us for a while and you would like to help to donate to the cause, you can see our Linktree page, yeah. That has been updated, by the way, by the amazing Antonio.
Never too late.
There we go.
Yeah, updated a little bit.
Yes, we updated. So you can go there and you see. Go for it, brother.
Scroll forward.
You see, help us renovate our podcast studio. So we do have the studio still. It's just being renovated. So if any help that you guys can give, we greatly appreciate it. Our donations start at $5, $10, $20, $50, and $100 if you're tremendously generous. We greatly appreciate anything that anyone can do to help. We're currently renovating the building where we operate the podcast as the roof is leaking and the brick walls need to be reset due to effervescence. If you know anything about effervescence, it's a funky thing. Anyway, anything you can do is greatly appreciated and welcome. So yeah, and not only that, you can also donate because you like us. That's always a great thing and a good reason in which to donate.
Yeah, I wear more sweaters if y'all,
Yeah.
Barring the budget, we'll see.
Yeah, and we're still waiting for a lot of you guys to, sign on to us and get us to, sponsor us so we can wear your hats, your sweatshirts, your t-shirts, so we can plug all of your products. If you got products out there,
we got a couple more orders coming in.
Okay, perfect.
But that's at their discretion. So when they're ready.
We love doing that stuff, man. We love doing that. We love being a part of stuff. That's most important. All right, so tonight's show, if you hadn't already checked it out, we were basically talking about some of this last week.
Yeah.
And we had mentioned that we would go more in depth, and tonight is the night.
Yeah, we're going to cuss these kids out.
Yeah, man. If you are watching right now and you have children, this is a show for you, for sure. Hopefully you're not one of these people who are in denial about your children being badasses. But, a lot of times people don't realize that the kids that they have at home are not the kids that you think they are on the street. So we're gonna.
Or they know that they are, and they're just okay with offloading them on the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And that's an even bigger problem.
Yeah. How you doing, Narv? Narv, you got a. Well, he's not a little one no more. You got a grown man now. Your son. How old is he, Narv? I can't remember for sure, but I know he's probably gonna be taller than you, which says a lot. My boy Narv was he's a pro football player, so
good
son's gonna be huge. All right, so we're talking about kids today, and not so much just the 9-year-olds or the 8-year-olds or the 4-year-olds, but the ones that have been going insane, that are out of order,
rather insane, rather out of order.
Man, losing their goddamn minds, and it's been a lot happening in the news. We're seeing a lot of things happen in regards to teenage kids, man.
They are teenagers.
Yeah, teenagers.
But even preteens, man. The shit. It's the things that they have access to and that they're allowed to do, and the ways that they're allowed to operate, unmonitored, unchecked.
I like to use a word. I saw this one time. This lady was on, I think, I would be wrong. It might have been a Dr. Phil show years ago. And she was talking about her son.
Mm-hmm.
And she coined him incorrigible. It was the first time I ever heard that word. Yeah. And I've used that word so many times since. But she told her son, "You're incorrigible." And I had to go look it up. I mean, I know my definition. I think we should look it up.
There's a show on Netflix called Incorrigible too.
Is it?
Yeah, you should watch it.
Look
at me recommending shit to watch.
Yeah. Incorrigible. Uh-oh.
Yep. Together. Incorrigible.
Yeah. What is the definition of incorrigible?
Well, why don't we all find out? If you're on YouTube, you can see that we have our browser open. We have gone after defining the term incorrigible. INCORRIGIBLE. Of a person or their tendencies not able to be corrected, improved, or reformed. I like this one. Inveterate. Yeah, that's an old one. An incorrigible person. All repeat offenders, but none of them real hard case incorrigibles. It's a noun, and I didn't know it was a noun. I knew it was an adjective. That's funny. I use that. I don't know. What we got? Merriam-Webster, dictionary.com, and always gotta hit Wikipedia. Wikipedia typically will take shit to the next level. I'm a fan of that. From Middle English incorrigible. No, they don't have a write-up. Where we at? And impossible to materially correct or set aright. The construction flaw is incorrigible. Any attempt to amend it would cause a complete collapse. Incurably depraved. Wow. Not reformable. His dark soul was too incorrigible to repent, even at his execution. Impervious to correction by punishment or pain. Unmanageable. Determined. Unalterable, hence impossible to improve upon. So it does have some positive connotations as well, but I've never heard it used in a positive connotation.
No, of course not.
Just to be clear.
Yeah.
And then let's look at, we got Merriam-Webster. Incapable of being corrected or amended, such as not reformable, depraved, delinquent, not manageable, unruly, unalterable, inveterate.
Yeah, see, you guys gotta understand that the word incorrigible,
it's a powerful word.
It's a very powerful word. And way back when, I don't know if some of y'all know, there's an old film called Angels with Dirty Faces, James Cagney. And it was basically about his character, who was an incorrigible character. He just crime was
Can't get right.
He couldn't get right. Didn't want to get right. And there's a scene, if you know the film, where his pastor best friend comes to him because, you know, when
We're about to talk about
they
that.
were young and they went in two different directions. Jimmy Cagney gets out of prison and the pastor comes to him, the priest comes to him and says, look, just stay away from these kids because we don't want you to be a bad influence on them. And because the kids end up doing their best to pickpocket him, and he catches them, so he tracks them down. He says, all right, little bastards, instead of y'all robbing me, y'all gonna work for me. And so the priest comes to him and says, man, just whatever you do, just, you know, stay away from them. And so anyway, what happens is in the end, he gets caught for a shootout or whatever James Cagney does. And the priest comes to him at the prison and he tells him, he's like, don't you feel any shame? He's like, no, I'm going to, you know, I'm going to say screw you to everybody at my execution. And he was like, no, just can you at least let them think that you're yellow and that you know, that you didn't go out, you know what I mean? And if you don't know the phrase yellow basically means you piss yourself. That's what the connotation is, yellow. So he tells the priest, screw you, you know, whatever. I'm not doing it. And then right when they come to get James Cagney, as they're dragging him down the hall, he starts to screaming, no, I don't want to know. Oh, please, don't kill me, don't kill me. And the priest, you know, kind of looks up and realizes that he did the right thing for him in that regards. But when you say delinquent, you know, these words, juvenile.
That's strong, man.
Yeah, juvenile, like beyond reproach, like not, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, willful, unruly, uncontrollable, beyond correctional reform.
Zero reproach.
Jeez, man.
Reproach, by the way, not approach.
Right.
Zero reproach.
Yeah.
Kids is fucked up.
Yeah. And that's happening a lot today. Now, we're going to bring a couple examples in to help you guys have more clear understanding and distinction in regards to whether or not your children may be incorrigible. You don't know it. You think, oh, my kids are good, blah, 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 blah. But when we get to this segment about the over 100 kids in Chicago, not all those kids came from bad households. Not all those kids are products of single parent households. It can't be. Hundreds? Over 100? No. Some of them kids are kids with two parents. Some of them kids got good grades, living decent lives, live in a nice area, are provided well for, but they out there acting a fool. Today, I was going back and forth, and I sent you that photo. So you might want to put that up.
I meant to let me forward that over.
Yeah.
We doing all three or just one?
All three, because we're gonna go through them. Yeah. There was a lady who was on. She's
Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, well, Instagram, TikTok, but this thing is going viral because of this little stupid thing that she put up.
Oh, come on, don't do this. There we go. God damn, this phone.
And a lot of people were chiming in, like commenting in. It was very much split down the middle. And she was basically saying on a TikTok post, but you know, TikTok ends up traveling and commuting over to Instagram and Facebook as well. She said, my son just told me that tradition is just peer pressure from dead people.
But you got that off the internet.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that.
You seen that before as well? Okay, that was my first time seeing that. And we all get triggered. You know, we all get triggered by stupid stuff sometimes. You know, just like you get triggered in a good way by cat videos and.
I don't watch cat videos.
You don't like cat videos?
I don't like cats.
Cat. Well, how about dog videos? Dog videos.
I don't watch those.
No animal videos.
I don't like when humans attempt to personify animals.
Scroll down to the.
Oh, you got it on
photo.
there.
Yeah, I have it on there as well too. So, it's the first one. Yeah. My son just told me that tradition is just pure pressure from dead people. I was like, and she in the video she goes, yeah. She kind of
she agreed with him.
Mm-hmm.
She gonna let him lead her into the fucking darkness. You gonna let your child lead you astray, which is what I commented on there, by the way.
Right.
You know.
Right. Well, I would even just as rough. I was like, I told her, I said, and that's sad because your son is going to cause you a lot of pain and suffering. In a sense. It's crazy to see stuff like that, and it's usually with like she can tell she's a young mother, right? So for her to
Is
even
she young?
she looks kind of young to me. She looks like she's in her. I would say
at least like 28.
in her 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that's young.
Yeah. Come on, man. So my son just told me that tradition is just peer pressure from dead people, and she agreed, and she thought that was like, just like a lot of people was like, kids are smart, and they were kind of like applauding this statement.
Well, because everybody likes dysfunction now. Everybody.
So for me, it's just like when you break it down, okay? Here's a grown-ass woman, supposedly, allegedly, saying that my son, okay, now, for shits and giggles, let's just say she's a single mom. Shits and giggles. Okay?
Perhaps.
All right? My son, because how can I allude to this personally? Because of what he says. Because if he has a real father in his life,
He would respect tradition.
yes, he would understand it because men teach from that mostly. Especially when it comes to the philosophical thought process of life.
Absolutely.
Whereas women, of course, they would teach you how to hopefully take care of yourself. How to nurture, yeah. How to see things in a more passive mind state. But this is a very philosophical statement that this young man was making.
Sure.
Tradition is just peer pressure from dead people.
Well, let's start from here. Where is she at in her life? And I'm not saying the kids cannot be profound. And we have no idea how old her son is or any of that. But we have to ask the question, where is it as a mother that she is morally and even psychologically, that she is accepting some sense of philosophy from a child.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Especially on something as deep as tradition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who raised her?
Right. To where she could be swayed like that because
Who raised her?
Yeah, in the video she's like, oh yeah.
And well, I guess I'll touch on it in a minute, but just remember that I said this. Someone in the comments tried to equate traditions and generational curses.
Yep, I saw that.
And they're not the same.
No, of course not. Of course not.
We'll build on that when the time comes. But
so peer pressure is normally connected in a way of negativity.
Yeah.
Peer pressure, getting someone to do something they don't want to do.
It's typically supposed to be something bad, not something good. You don't peer pressure people into good things. You peer pressure someone who is of sound mind into something stupid.
Absolutely.
That is what peer pressure is about. It's
absolutely.
Not, hey man, I know you wanted to go waste your money on rims and drugs, but let me peer pressure you into these investments and shit, into a savings account. Yeah. That's not peer pressure.
Hardly ever. Yeah,
that's not peer pressure, nigga. That's good advice. There's a huge difference.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, peer pressure from dead people.
Your ancestors.
Right. Pretty much is what they're alluding to.
The people who paved the way for you. And this is not a sore spot for me, but it's something that angers me because I have nieces and nephews. And I battle with them about something, and I've talked about this on the show before, but I've battled with them about reading. They think books have gone the way of newspapers, and I understand the dissolution of newspapers because news is on the internet, it's on wherever. But a book, We're gonna give up on books as a society,
Right.
because that's the way that their generation is headed. They're giving up on books.
Yeah, pretty much.
You don't want to read.
No.
You don't understand niggas getting their fucking hands cut off and
Eyes poked out.
welcome in,
Blinded.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
tortured because they number one because they knew how to spell their own name.
Yeah. And or right.
Or write.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But your generation doesn't want to read.
Yeah, listen, if the white slave masters of that time understood that there was power and knowledge in the books, that's why
Because that's where everything is.
Yeah, of course.
That's one of the oldest sayings. You want to hide something
from a black person.
or you want to keep something from a black person, you hide it in a book.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was not because most of us couldn't read, but because they had frightened us into not reading.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Yeah. It was in some states it was punishable by death.
Yeah. And today now it means that we don't read.
Right.
That's the actual stereotype. We don't read.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about law. We don't know anything about policy. We don't know anything about infrastructure. You know, and I'm willing to admit as intelligent and astute as I've been in my life, you know, I didn't understand that your town hall holds weekly meetings in every city.
Yep.
You can go down to your town hall and petition.
And step up to a mic and speak your
piece.
Yeah.
You can put on a presentation. They give you the floor. It don't cost money.
2 minutes.
Nothing. It's free. It's free. You can go down and make change or attempt at least to make a change that easily in any county in the United States. And our people don't know that. You know, I was you know, very, very blessed to have met Gary Carter. He's a pastor from Louisiana by way of Chicago, and you know, we both ended up in Idaho at the same time. But you know, he was taking me to the town meetings, man, and I'm sitting there, I'm watching these little white kids. You know, some of them from Boy Scouts and some of them just from their local schools, going up there and petitioning to get statues of important figures that, you know, that they respected and recognized at a young age, to have statues built, to have the city pay for it.
Yeah.
You know, that's their reality. It should be our reality, but these are things that we really don't know.
No, because we got little kids talking about tradition is just peer pressure from dead people, and people believe it. So when we look at traditions, what traditions are some people alluding to? Because I think there's a point where when you look at this current generation, right, a lot of the things that guys in my age or guys in Antonio's age, the different things that we learned from our grandparents, our great-grandparents, certain things that they told us to be mindful of, which now is, you see, is repeating again, being out after dark in certain places. Some people are getting lynched again.
Sundown.
Yeah.
Sundown town.
You know, they're getting lynched again, and it's happening in places all over. Certain things that people did, which was every Sunday their families sat together and ate.
Just to promote community.
How's that peer pressure?
That's at the end of the day, you know, no matter what we went through this week, it didn't even have nothing to do with religion. It was get the entire family together. This is our community. This is our staff. This is our faculty. This is who we can depend on. Get everybody together. I don't give a damn what's going on. Sunday, we all meeting up and we're going to eat together.
Yeah, because it promoted community. That was important. That whole film.
We're sharing our resources right now.
Yeah. And energy. Filling each other up. I mean,
you know,
think
bringing
about
the kids together so that they know each other.
The family.
So that they understand who comes from who. Who each uncle and auntie and, you know, grandparent. And cousins, knowing who everybody is, it's so important.
Hearing some of those stories and how they were able to do certain things and how did
I haven't got the chance to talk on the show, man. But you know, I speak very highly of my family members, man. I'm next up to be the family historian under my mom. You know, because she was serious about that growing up, and it's amazing, even with my other cousins that I do still have. You know, talking with them, they don't know a lot of these stories that I know about their own parents and you know, our parents going out and being rambunctious on the town and shit together as cousins in their youth. You know, it's super important. You don't think I wouldn't call that peer pressure. Peer pressure to what?
Yeah, I
To
think
keep our family's legacy, our family's story alive.
Yeah, I think with this whole thing, you know, it's real easy for a lot of young people and people who are rebellious, because you could be in your 30s and be a rebellious person.
Well, I want to talk about that too. Sure, I think that's an entire segment. It might be an entire episode. But I've been saying this since I was a young teen, and I won't say which family members, but I noticed a couple generations under me. I was born in '94, and then I have family members '96 and beyond up to the year 2000. I was a rebel, but I was a rebel with a cause. I had issues with the infrastructure at my schools. I had issues with the way that the teachers operated and treated some of us based on different things. I had issues with what we were lacking as far as resources in the school, and I spoke up about those things. I argued about those things. My mother rallied me up, behind those different things.
Which is what should happen in regards to promoting and working to make things better for black people.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
But so then, again, those family members 96 and beyond, things got a little weird. They see me being a rebel, so to speak.
They took that as
They didn't understand that I was a rebel with a cause. And I say that the year 96 and beyond, because I'm a student of, of these different generations, because I'm very, you've been around me, I'm very observative, I'm very astute. 96 and beyond, and this is no disrespect, because not all of you are this way, but a mass majority of you are.
Yeah,
you guys are rebels without causes. What do you stand for? Why are you misbehaving? Why are you going against the grain? You're tearing down fixtures of what keeps a community alive. And you're not doing or creating or presenting anything that will be reparative or reforming or reinforcing of what you want the new community to be.
Right.
You just tear it down entirely. And definitively, that's a virus.
Yeah. Has no purpose.
Definitively, that is a virus. It has not helped any of us for you all to be this way.
Yeah.
Welcome in.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people was hoping that hip hop would be, like that whole.
Oh, it started off that way.
Of course. To what it is now.
To what it is now, which is it's for anybody.
Self-destructive, actually.
It isn't for us. It's for anybody.
Yeah, and it's self-destructive in its concept of what it is. When you look at the artists that they push. So tradition is just peer pressure from dead people, right? So let's go to the next photo. Yeah. The next photo, this guy, I got into
a bit of a spat. Is it the one with the black writing or the green writing?
The green writing, yeah.
Put his name out there.
Yeah. Well, I covered it up just for it should be
photo.
Yeah.
Got you.
This guy, man. I.
We on some internet shit today.
We engage from time to time. You know what? Listen, it's a thing of wanting to say something that hopefully people will receive.
I was just about to say, the only reason why I will ever not even argue on the internet, but I'm willing to go back and forth, is because I know others are reading. And it's important on a thread full of bullshit that there's at least somebody there talking some sense for other people to read.
Some good
even if it's only one.
Yep.
Even if I only get one who says, wow, you know what, I agree with that. That does make sense. Maybe I should spread that. Maybe I should share that ideal with other people.
Yeah. I've been invited on other shows because of statements that I've made.
Yeah.
And it's not like that's why I make those statements, but akin to exactly what you just said.
And you did recently, by the way. I don't remember the name of the podcast, but shout out to them.
Yeah. She has a very good podcast. I like her stuff, man, and so I appreciate that this guy, man, he just went in and he just, like, you can see he was writing paragraphs, man. And just want to give you an idea, this is the thought process that some people have. And he goes in, and to act like your generation wasn't doing the same ish is also BS. This stuff is nothing new. I was born in New York and saw the end of the crack era. Now, that's the point. The end of the crack era. So it's not the same as what was happening during the crack era.
Right.
You was at the end of the crack era. If you had anything to understand about during the crack era, then you would understand that crack had such a way, it didn't matter because the drug was so powerful.
Didn't matter who you were.
Didn't matter. I knew people.
It spread into white community.
That's when they had to shut
That's
the
how
shit down.
powerful.
Yeah, that's when they had to shut it down. They were like,
And I'm not saying that in a good way.
No.
I'm saying that's how destructive it was.
Yeah.
It was so destructive that although it was targeted in our community, it spread into the white community.
They didn't expect that. They didn't
know that it would be that
No.
over encompassing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he goes, how many dudes your age and generation were creating gangs and being drug kingpins and gangster rap? These kids ain't just learned this ish, but you expect kids raised in the hood with no older role models and no access to better education or shown any kind of love to just magically know how to be good, upstanding citizens. What are you doing to help? Please share.
So I agree with those questions to an extent. What were gangs originally?
They were community.
They were community leaders. They were younger sects that were younger sects of the community, our community, that were influenced by the Black Panthers. Because maybe the Black Panthers hadn't created a chapter, or hadn't reached far enough to create a chapter there, but they heard of. Bloods and Crips, and I forget exactly what it stands for. You guys gotta forgive me, but go and look it up. Bloods stands for something. It's an acronym. Crips is an acronym. You gotta understand, it wasn't just always, this Crip walking stupid, changing the B's in every word and all of that dumb shit. It was an actual community outreach It's unfortunate that he doesn't know that.
Right.
Which actually does kind of, it reinforces the questions that he asks, because he doesn't know.
No. And for what I felt, listen, when this guy continued on and on, I said, okay, you have a problem. Somebody hurt you.
Yeah, well,
Maybe
he's
you have
upset.
a dad around. Yeah.
And he should be. But who should he be upset with is the question. I don't know if that's his mother or lack thereof. I have no idea. I can't say.
Right, yeah. No, it sounds like he's upset because, he kept saying OGs and...
Because they do get left in the dust.
Yeah.
They get left. Nobody's educating them.
Right, and the problem becomes this. For me, it was a thing of there is a level of accountability. Like, you're right. Okay, you're right.
But you can't be saying that in your 30s.
Right, that's my point.
Especially if you're astute enough to ask these sort of questions. And this isn't blaming the victim. I know people like to throw that shit around this generation. This ain't blaming the victim. This is asking the question, are you going to stay hurt forever?
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, one of the responses that I told him, and I was like, they got more in the palm of their hand than we ever had.
Ever.
So,
they don't have to get on a bike or walk.
No.
To go find find the good library that actually got books of this age and time.
There's more programs for young black women and girls than ever.
Yeah, sure.
I had to post today on Facebook about the young boy who's got well over $19 million in scholarships or something.
That's crazy.
Something crazy. Some kid, he did 120 some odd schools that accepted him, offered him all these scholarships.
Sure.
They don't talk about that. And that's why I made it my business to post that about him. Because it's always girls.
Well, it's more openly accessible now because of the internet for those of us who are using it, to its full potential. That's a beautiful thing in itself. But in your time, man, it was word of mouth. If you were lucky enough to have some sort of office or charter in your community that you could go to and actually rely on them to give you good information about what you are actually afforded. Whether that be from the government, the immediate community, or even, the city in general. That wasn't a widespread thing. That then not even in the 90s, it shifted. That's a recent shift in the last 10 to 15 years.
Yeah. But it's there.
It's there. Well, yeah, that's my point, is that now it does exist. It wasn't a thing. And Something I want to call to attention because I know it might come off this way, but this isn't a comparison of struggles.
No, not at all.
It's you're complaining, but why aren't you using the resources that you do have at your disposal?
Mm-hmm.
I mentor a lot of young people, and they'll be standing there with a newer iPhone than mine, and I'm well enough off, or I'm well off enough. Standing there with a newer iPhone than mine, jewelry,
Nice new sneakers.
LeBrons, and all kind of shit on their feet, good, and good for them. But how could you be standing there with all of that and complaining about what you don't have? Complaining about who hasn't helped you, who's not telling you X, Y, Z.
Right.
You're telling me that you want a job, and you're standing there with whatever the newest iPhone is. Well, why haven't you just Googled it? How do I get a job? You on Instagram? You on Facebook? I don't know. You might be on OnlyFans. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But you know how to get on the internet and do all of these different things.
Find out where to go to party.
Yeah, sure. Where are they selling this sneaker model? Whatever the new Jordan is and all of that shit. You got to track all of that shit down, but you can't track down an opportunity for you to succeed.
Right.
I would love. I did one of my major reports that I did in elementary school. Man, I did it all out of a fucking encyclopedia that only had 2 passages on Harriet Tubman. And that was one of my most controversial reports as a child, because I went up against the teacher and the entire faculty about how they wanted me to reword it. We'll talk about that another time, but the point being, from that, and that was just 2006, to right now, you got everything at your disposal on the internet. You can ask it any question. And don't get me started on the AI shit.
Well, yeah, and to that point, that goes to the other thing, the
third one?
Well, no, it was just showing how someone was responding. But the Google Chrome, the issue of what happened in Chicago.
Oh, we're gonna switch over?
Yeah, because the thing is that this, what you just saying leads right into it. What people don't understand is that this situation, how all this happened, was how all that happened was that they contacted each other through social media. So here we're talking about, right, that in the palm of the hand, these kids got stuff that they can use to empower their minds and to figure other things out. Something we didn't have in our era.
Well, it's. I'll give it a short anecdote. Shout out to Sarah Sudin-Seti, man. He's a fixture in our community for those who know who he is. But he had a dissertation about the N-word, and we know about the origins and all of the negative aspects of that term. But he said that if I could say nigga and a million of us look and turn around and say, who said that? Versus, hey, black man, hey, African, queen or whatever, and nobody looks. Well, now it's a tool for us to use. So when you got something like this internet and Instagram and Messenger and all of this different shit that these kids are using to talk to each other, it's a powerful tool. But what are they using it for?
Well, yeah, they're using it for the wrong stuff. And so that's my point.
Yeah.
That's why I bring that up. In the palm of their hand is the power for them to be able to grow to another level. They used it instead
For destruction.
But yet still, this brother was just telling me, don't come down on the kids. How you gonna come down on them?
Well, look at them.
And if you don't know anything about what happened or what's going on.
And there's a difference between coming down on people and disciplining them.
Yeah. And this is not a thing of, the shootings that they have every year. I mean, 4th of July's coming up, so.
Right.
Poor Chicago, man. They catch hell every 4th of July. But this is happening in the spring. Hundreds of kids, man. Hundreds. Horrible stuff that's going on in Chicago on the weekend.
Right.
And they all contacted each other through Instagram and Facebook and
They
Twitter.
assembled
That's
You know
how
what I'm
they,
saying?
yeah, Avengers assemble.
Yeah, you know, they assemble like superheroes.
Yeah.
If you're on YouTube, you see we got the article pulled up. If you're on, you're on Instagram, it is what it is. But let's get this going. Hundreds of teens caused fiery chaos in downtown Chicago as they torched cars in rampage organized on social media. Vastly outnumbered police managed just 15 arrests. More than 100 teenagers gathered in Millennium Park on Saturday. The rowdy group torched cars and got into fights before gunfire ended the night. 2 teenage boys, 16 and 17, were reported shot, but in stable condition. Well,
Why?
Good luck to them.
Right. Why?
Lucky them. Very lucky. Dealing with gunfire. A crowd of more than 100 rowdy teenagers turned violent in downtown Chicago on Saturday night as dozens torched and smashed cars while blaring music in a teen trend that left 2 with gunshot wounds. Shocking footage showed some teenagers jumping on top of a bus while others started a massive brawl after descending on Millennium Park, attempting to breach barricades. Gunshots rang out with some rounds striking 2 teenage boys aged 16 and 17. The 2 youths were transported to a nearby hospital in fair condition. A total of 15 people, 9 adults and 6 children were arrested.
6 children.
That's insane. They said children, not teenagers.
Children.
Children. Police said most of the charges were for reckless conduct, but a 16-year-old boy was also charged with unlawful use of a weapon and a firearm was recovered. Oh boy. Nigga, he about to get charged like an adult too. An adult and a juvenile were also charged with possession of a stolen vehicle. Cars were also left vandalized near East Washington Street in the Windy City, including a Tesla, which was worth about $120,000.
I saw that footage. I don't know if you saw it.
No, yeah, I ain't even looked at
It was
this yet.
horrible. It was horrible. What they did to that car. Didn't make any sense.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Well, I have no idea why they were out there, to be fair, but if you're on YouTube, I'm scrolling down the page. We're looking at the pictures of the destruction there, and they done set a car on fire, man. These kids done set a car on fire. It's really unfortunate. And I'm talking about they got a whole stream of photos on here. Anyway, the huge gatherings in the street are being dubbed teen trends, which extends invites to teenagers across the city. According to NBC Chicago, and Saturday's incident occurred a day after another teenage boy, 14, was shot at another gathering near 31st Street, Avenue Beach. During the chaos on Saturday night, a bystander was attacked while in the driver's seat of his car by rowdy teenagers and had to be taken to the hospital. It appeared as if police were unable to handle the crowd and were seen escorting innocent bystanders and tourists to safety. Officers worked to clear the crowds? Okay, I knew I wasn't tripping. Officers worked to clear the large crowds, and video showed dozens of cops lining the street near Washington and State. It's heartbreaking. Kids fighting, chasing each other. Some of them gunshots. An unidentified witness told NBC News. It's really heartbreaking when one of them actually gets hurt, and that's unfortunate. Happened last night. It's actually heartbreaking, the kids, because we are talking about children here. It's unfortunate that children, somewhere in their reality, have decided, again, to rally together for something so pointless. Again, these are rebels without a cause.
Yeah, trivial. Yeah.
What did they change? They hurt each other. It's not like, at least we can say, man, they went and, maybe can come up for a reason for them assembling and going and tearing up storefronts for whatever that reason might be. They did this to each other.
And see, and this is the thing about discounting tradition, because tradition showed you how to treat each other.
Yeah.
It held you accountable, whether it was you brought up in the church, which a lot of people were as a black community. We denounced that, so that's not even a factor anymore. You want a child to use reason.
Absolutely.
And they have yet to understand what reason is. They haven't developed reason. They don't know what that is. They're whimsical in their emotions. They're whimsical in how they're responding to their levels of testosterone or estrogen, which is off the charts.
No one is showing them what
real life is going to be like.
No, especially, I mean, look how many people are going in these restaurants and fighting.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Adults.
it's adults and,
Jumping
you know,
over counters.
acting like kids.
At the airport.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nigga, that's a federal offense. What the fuck is you doing?
Yeah, with no regard and no sense of understanding that there is something that's going to happen in the end of what you're doing.
And most importantly, I can't mention this enough. Niggas going through all of this silly shit and changed or brought attention on absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Rebels without a fucking cause.
Yeah. And what people don't understand is
What have you done?
what people don't understand, especially for Black Americans, is that other cultures see us.
Yeah.
Across the country because across the world, because they only see us in that negative light.
Yeah.
They don't see us in the positive light.
We have a national image.
Mm-hmm.
You know, national image, our collective public image.
Mm-hmm.
The whole world sees us.
Mm-hmm.
What are you telling them about us in mass?
Mm-hmm.
Behaving this way.
Mm-hmm.
They're just crazy. They didn't get anything out of that. They didn't, no laws were made to support their efforts in whatever that chaos was.
The odd thing is that to hear people say, "How you going to judge me like this?" and this is your behavior, like you got to understand there is something
Just expressing myself.
going to be repercussions for what your actions are. We'll talk about that later on in regards to that Walmart.
I'll finish reading this.
But yeah, go ahead.
Where am I at?
We're talking about
Heartbreak.
we're talking about ratchet kids, like ratchet kids,
Raggedy ass kids,
badass,
and their raggedy ass parents. It's really heartbreaking when one of them actually gets hurt, and that's unfortunate. It happened last night. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot. They always got some names on there, man.
You ever saw Miss Lightfoot?
No, that's crazy.
You gotta see
She
it.
definitely not light-footed.
You gotta see it. You gotta see it.
I think he's saying
it's a
she
sight
might
to
be.
behold.
Alright, she might be fat.
She's on her way out the office. She's done a horrible job.
Well,
Yeah.
fat people. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot and Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson both issued statements regarding chaotic scenes. Mayor Lightfoot said while many of the young people gathered to have a good time and enjoy the weather, some were involved in reckless, disrespectful, and unlawful behavior.
You think?
As I've said before, we as a city cannot and will not allow any of our public spaces to become a platform for criminal conduct. The mayor's statement read.
She's been saying that since she got in office, but go ahead.
Most importantly, parents and guardians must know where their children are and be responsible for their actions. Instilling the important values of respect for people and property must begin at home. I completely agree with that. Lightfoot noted that Chicago police leadership has assured her they will make the necessary adjustments to address these teen trends issues as we move into the summer months. It's insane that they're assuring her that over children. Children. Not even teenagers. We're not talking about, 17 and 18-year-olds who might be into sports and have a little, something like that behind them. Literal children. These children are getting guns in their hands.
Kids.
And that's not necessarily a new thing, because that was definitely happening in the 60s, the 70s.
Yeah, but because of tradition and because of families, when the family unit was a major part of the society, you saw the kids that wanted to do right was backed up by the families. Like
absolutely,
when I saw
even the community would say, "Nah, man, don't get into this.
Stay away from
you different. You different.
He got a knife. Stay
Take
away
your
from
ass
him.
to school.
Yeah, stay away from him. He got a knife. Ooh.
Think about Boys in the Hood, man. What a cautionary tale. You know what I'm saying?
Trey got out the car. He got out.
Yes, he did. Oh, that's insane. They got more pictures on here of these damn kids acting.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
And that's our kids.
And this was people driving by. It wasn't even parked cars, which, is dangerous in itself, man. Look at that. Now all of those kids have bad households. They don't come from bad parents.
But they do, and may come from households that have no structure and no discipline.
Yeah.
Which I would equate as bad parents or bad parenting.
That's insane. Is that why they were trying to get in? It says the crowd was trying to get into Millennium Park, but there were checkpoints around the perimeter, and people under 21 are not allowed without an adult.
Yeah,
What is Millennium Park?
Millennium Park is a regular park. There was nothing really going on. The kids made it up on Instagram and said, "Yeah,
so
let's just
basically
all
fuck
go."
that because it's under 21.
Right, we're gonna go. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man.
That's insane. And then they got the video and shit on there.
A bus.
These
A
motherfuckers
bus.
is over this bus like some kind of zombie, you know.
They look like something like Lord of the Rings. They going into war.
Rampaging.
Yeah.
Trampling the bus. That's crazy. The witness added that police stood no chance against the crowd. I don't know. Them kids would have got shot fucking with me. You know, maybe not actual bullets, but you know.
Well, we're gonna talk about that other
Rubber
incident
bullets
that
or
happened
something.
because nobody's safe with those crowds.
Yeah. There was a lot of cops here, but they were still outnumbered, the witness said. There were so many teenagers that showed up, and they tried to keep the peace and keep them under control. Exactly. They didn't shoot. They should have fucking, I don't know. Nigga, them rubber bullets is a motherfucker.
Yeah.
I bet you a kid will sit down after that shit.
Yeah.
You know, something has to wake them up, man. Pain control. I'm sorry. But after the shooting, a nearby Tesla was seen on fire. The rowdy teenagers disrupted the city's transportation system. Let me restart that. The rowdy teenagers disrupted the city's transportation system after several climbed on top of a bus. They could be seen dancing while the bus was at a stop. It's unclear if anyone was in the bus at the time, but the Chicago Transit Authority announced the schedules were disrupted due to police activity. No, it wasn't due to police activity. It was due to these badass kids fucking up. Yeah, so I didn't understand that was the Tesla that they had set on fire. That's somebody's fucking, you know, hopefully that nigga got gap insurance.
Yeah, man.
God damn, they done burned the Tesla to the ground. Lucky for them, that wasn't no gas car, because that motherfucker would have really exploded.
Yeah.
You know, batteries too, but gas is a whole, you know, imagine a full tank of gas, and they didn't blaze this car.
Yeah, if you pushing a Tesla, more than likely, if you had a gasoline car, you'd be able to keep it filled up. So,
shit. I'm saying as far as the repercussions of setting that motherfucker on fire, you know, they probably would have hurt themselves in that instance, honestly.
Yeah. Ain't nobody that fast when it comes to an explosion.
It says the rowdy teenagers disrupted the city's transportation system after several climbed on top of a bus. They can be seen dancing while the bus was at a stop. Shit, let me be that bus driver, nigga. It's unclear if anyone was in the bus, but the Chicago Transit Authority announced that travels were disrupted due to police activity. Pictured the rowdy crowd. On Friday night, a 14-year-old boy was shot in the thigh around 9 p.m. Beforehand, authorities were informed about the 300-person gathering via emergency management and communications.
Wow.
Some reports cited that nearly 1,000 teenagers were at the Teen Trend event, though the true number remains unclear. A 17-year-old boy was arrested in connection to the shooting. This nigga's whole life, damn near. He could easily get 25 right now. You know? More pictures if you're on YouTube again, you know. Damn. Yeah, that's really insane.
Well, people be quick and like, there should be something for them to do.
There should be something for them to do. That's something to say. That's dismissive, if you ask me. They should be at home, nigga, doing chores and, you know what I'm saying? Homework. I doubt that all of these kids did their fucking homework before they came out there.
Working on some hobbies.
Working on their fucking future.
Yep.
That's what they need to be doing. But we're at halftime, so I will let you give the what is it called? The plug.
The plug.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna plug our link tree and I'm gonna go use the bathroom right quick.
Alright guys, so if you're watching us on Instagram, just know that you can reach our YouTube page at CMCT_show. You can go there and check out what we have going on YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe. All of our other videos as well from the past couple of months is listed on top of this. So if you missed any of our topics, you can catch one of our shows there. We greatly appreciate any likes, shares, subscribes, any messages, comments. We do read them. Also, if you would like to donate to our cause, you can go to our Linktree page, and hit us there. Close that. On the Linktree. Yeah, go to our Linktree and let us know that you believe in what we got going on and what we're doing, and you can donate to the cause to help us to renovate our podcast studio and also keep things moving. You can also book our services. Okay, venting sessions we have, and they are neither therapy nor advice. We consult you with additional perspectives and perceptions. Interviews may be either live or pre-recorded. Both include post-editing. So you can see for $20, personalized video message. See that? 2 minutes. $100 is a therapeutic venting session. So we'll let you vent and talk about whatever it is you need to get off your chest for a whole hour. $100. $150, a 20-minute interview on the CMCT podcast. So that means you can be on our show and you can have a 20-minute interview to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about, as long as it's not illegal and as long as it's not something that is defamatory towards anybody else. Okay, no defamation. So you also can see we have our Cash App, our Venmo, Patreon, YouTube, and our Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and Twitter. So you can hit us up on any one of those platforms. We greatly appreciate everybody that pays attention to us, that signs in, that joins us every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. on Eastern Time, which is 5 p.m. on the West Coast. Coming up on our second part of our show, if you are on my page, I'm hoping that it doesn't happen, but for whatever reason, I'm back down to the 1 hour thing and it's going to shut off and then I have to sign back up again. But anyway, hopefully that doesn't happen tonight. We are going to be continuing our talk about badass kids. So the other thing that I had about this guy, he also, yeah, it's a two minute countdown, guys. This guy was also saying, why don't they know their history? Who stopped teaching them? If the youth are out of control, it is a big part because the generation before them didn't prepare them. I chose not to ignore that and to do my part instead of complaining and bashing them. Exactly why they don't follow, because that old head mindset. Bash, but no work is all older cats do. This is why we got groups of young boys on different paths, because we're not bashing. We're working. And then he goes, those wild in Chicago has nothing to do with my point. I literally said with guidance, straight up glossed over that. So this guy was talking to me on Instagram. He's talking stupid because it's like I'm not disagreeing with what he's saying. I'm just saying you got to hold these little damn kids accountable. It's very important that we hold kids accountable, man. It's important that we hold ourselves accountable as well. I mean, a lot of times people are quick to, well, it's their circumstance, it's their community, it's this, it's that. What about the kid? The kid at a certain point has to have a level of morality. Now, granted, if he's not taught any morality, then, you know, we're going to have someone that's incorrigible. But shit, y'all wanted no prayer in schools, y'all wanted no God in your religion, no religion in your life. You got it. So how do you expect the child to have reason? They don't know anything. You know what I mean? And people believe that people naturally will have the right mind to make the right decision. It's crazy. But these kids, over 100 in Chicago, going crazy. Going insane. You know? Nobody's doing anything about this. It's just getting worse. It's getting worse. Alright, so this is cutting off. Let me get this back on. Boom. Yeah, saw that happening. Getting a little cold in here. As I'm waiting on my show partner to get back here.
My bad.
Yep, so good.
Oh, your shit cut off?
Yeah, of course.
Well, you know.
You can't get the 4K, I can't get the additional hour. That's how they getting us, man.
They just randomly took this.
Yeah,
shit.
they just do what they want to do. That's how they do it. They want to do what they want to do.
Well, where we at? Oh, I was only gone 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It felt like forever.
Was it? No, it was less than that actually.
Well, you know, I got my drink and shit.
I think you saw it at the 5-minute mark, but you left 3 minutes later.
Yeah, I didn't know I was moving that fast.
Yeah, you moved kind of quick.
Give yourself some credit, man.
All right. So next up on the docket, if you've been with us since the first hour, you know what we're talking about: badass kids.
You talking about these punk ass kids?
Yeah, horrible, 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 horrible. So these kids, the over 100 kids, people were throughout the city bumping into them. And nobody was safe. Nobody was safe from these kids. There was nobody safe. You know why they attacked them.
Where did they find that nigga, man?
You know why they attacked them.
Why they be doing that shit?
Hey,
That's funny.
you already know why they attacked him.
Come on, man.
This was scary. Now, because, you know, this brought it to my mind, too, man, on, like, what would I do in that situation?
Mm.
You know. But anyway, these kids, you want to call them, I call them little demons.
Excuse me. It's me?
Yeah, they were trapped, man. We could talk about it. I don't know if you had seen this already.
Nah, man, I didn't, you know.
And so
I had a long day.
this footage here is posted on some kid's
Instagram
page. And he said, "Yay, we get active." That's what he said. "Yay, we get active."
Get active. Well, that's a mindset.
Now, looking at that crowd, most of those kids right there are barely 12 or 13. I can tell. They're just big for their age, some of them, but you can see how young these kids
you know,
are.
no,
man.
definitely, those are children.
Those are kids, man. Those
Even,
are,
you know, the hair growth and all of that shit.
yeah, they should be happy they're alive, actually. They should be happy. I mean, he got the worst of it, you know.
It looks like it.
Yeah, he had got the worst of it because they bumped into her, and then after that, it was just one word needed to be said,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Oh, is that his bitch?
Yeah, that's his girl.
My bad.
Mm-hmm. And they were visiting Chicago. So, let's talk about Chicago, man. As a kid, I lived there for a year. My mom had moved us to Chicago for about a year. And then I've had
Mafia
great experiences
ran
just
y'all
visiting.
Is that a mafia ran y'all about it?
Oh, man, I know, right? Oh, man. Now, you know, Chicago is cold as hell,
Chicago's
man.
cool, man.
That's about it. That's all I remember from it.
The thing that, well, have you been there since you've been an adult?
Yes.
Okay, so I was gonna say, you know, not to segue,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Chicago, one of the places, man, they got restaurants in every
absolutely.
fucking nook and cranny.
Absolutely.
They got some good food out in Chicago.
Yes, they do.
But anyway,
And I enjoyed myself. I went there for a film festival, so.
yeah, dope.
Mm-hmm.
So, mob randomly attacks couple walking in Chicago. They said they were going to kill us. That's insane. A young Chicago couple caught on video being assaulted during the violent teen takeover of the Windy City over the weekend feared the vicious mob was going to kill us during the unprovoked attack. And that was in quotes, not in proper English. Ashley Knutson?
Knutson.
Yeah, I'm going to say Knutson. Ashley Knutson, 20, and Devontae Garrison Johnson. Jesus Christ. Come on. I'm going to say Johnson from here on out. 22, recounted their frightening ordeal on North Wabash Avenue on Saturday night when they were overrun by the marauding youngsters outside a Macy's store.
I've been there, North Wabash.
Marauding.
Yep.
God damn,
Yep.
man. Knudsen said she and her boyfriend were shopping when they ran into the really big group of people, guys and girls, in the loop. Fox 32 reported. DJ had my hand trying to lead me through the crowd of people, and they pushed him, they pushed me, and as soon as they pushed me, I told DJ, they just shoved me. Oh, come on. What am I supposed to do in this situation? God damn. Now she just basically charged him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? With
Protect me.
protecting her and shit right now. I don't know if you see it, bitch, but we both probably about to. This might be it.
This is it.
You know what I'm saying?
We're going down together.
Damn, man, what a really unfortunate scenario for both of them to go through, honestly. And as soon as they shoved me, I told DJ they shoved me. Knudsen recalled, and he was like, "Don't shove her. Who shoved her?" Oh, that's his fault, nigga. He shouldn't have did that. They should have kept walking. Who shoved her? And as soon as he said that, everything went crazy. She said. 20 and 22 was the ages? Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. That's unfortunate. Let's keep on walking. Let's get the fuck up out of here. Mm-hmm. They said they were going to kill us. They turned around and started fighting. I got pushed down to the ground and the whole group went to DJ and not to me, the young woman continued. I feel like whoever wrote this, you know.
Yeah. They had something behind what they were writing.
They understood that whole thing of, you know, the man is supposed to protect the woman. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I understand him from being like, man, who pushed my girl? Mm-hmm. And now he getting his ass whooped by these kids. 13, 14-year-olds, 12-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They said they were going to kill us. They turned around and started fighting. I got pushed down to the ground and the whole group went to DJ and not to me, the young woman continued. She said she was hurt in the fracas? Fracas? Mm-hmm. What is that?
It's a scuffle.
Oh, okay. But that Johnson suffered the brunt of the aggression. They were jumping him in the middle of the street. It got pretty bad, Knudsen told the outlet. He can't even tell his story. They done whooped his ass. Mm-hmm. If you're on YouTube,
we get active.
You see these pictures and Instagram shots and shit, or Snapchat, one of the two. You know, these badass kids.
Yeah. To the point where they enjoy hurting people.
Yeah, the caption on two of their the still shots is, "Yay, we get active." Get active with what? Mm-hmm. Again, you know, I'll continue to reiterate this: rebels without a cause. Yeah. They're not going down to the police station and man, y'all, you know,
stop beating our asses and treating us.
You know,
like
they're not at town hall demanding more funds at their school and.
Programs,
you know, for the community, you know, let's get some of these soup kitchens going or any of that. It's we get active. We didn't jump these random passersby. You know, it's a damn shame, honestly. In the viral video posted by CWB Chicago, Knudsen is heard pleading for help when a good Samaritan stepped in and de-escalated the encounter. I felt like at that moment I needed to take action, Lenora Dennis told
NBC
Chicago.
It's always women that will step up. These women, they'll step up.
I get it.
Watch these videos. By
the time he got up, he was bleeding from the mouth, his head, his eyes. He couldn't make straight eye contact. It felt like he might have been concussed. God damn. Knudsen told Fox 32 she saw cops drive by and acted like they didn't see anything. I mean, other than shooting them kids, nigga, what was they supposed to do? You know, start taking their knees out or something.
And then that's a problem.
Even then,
that's a problem.
Yeah, that becomes a thing. Now they might lose their job and their family can't have them. Dennis also expressed frustration about the lack of help from Chicago's police. I literally went out in the street and held my hands up to a police car and asked them to stop and motioned them over to what was going on. And they just cut a path around me and kept going, she said. Dennis says she drove the couple to a police station to file a report. Bitch, drive him to a hospital. To the police station. I got told by the desk sergeant that this was going to happen and that this was going to keep happening because Brandon Johnson got elected. Wow. What kind of shit is that, man?
We didn't like who y'all voted. So we ain't going.
Yeah, we ain't helping nobody. Fuck that. God damn, what kind of shit is that? I got told by the desk sergeant that this was going to happen, that this was going to keep happening because Brandon Johnson got elected, she said, referring to the mayor-elect. On Monday, the Progressive Democrat urged the public not to demonize the hordes of rampaging. They're talking about them like they're zombies. Hordes of rampaging teens who set cars on fire, clashed with police, and damaged private property. Then it said the police was taken, or excuse me, the couple, my bad. Then it said the couple was taken to a hospital by ambulance, but without their phones, wallets, and even shoes, all of which had been stolen during the attack.
Took their shoes.
So not only are these, stampedes of children fucking people up, they're taking shit from them.
Yeah. Robbery.
Nobody feels the need to identify who they are, where they come from, and maybe let's do something about that. Let's charge the parents the same way. I know it started in California, but when children were late to school or they were tardy or
didn't make school.
truant.
Oh yeah, the truant. Yeah,
They're coming after the parents.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now technically that's for a whole nother reason of indoctrination. And,
Of course. Get the kids in school. Get them in school.
I get that, but why can't they apply the same thing here?
Right.
Maybe they need to create a curfew for kids under a certain age. You got to be in the house.
Yep.
Nope, you can't go nowhere. And if we catch you outside, sorry to tell you, pal, outside of your own front yard, or if you're at a family member's house, a proven family member, biological, nigga, your kid is going to, I know in California we call it CYA, but basically a delinquent center.
Yep.
Is that extreme to an extent? But nigga, we got what? It's been 6 articles.
Yeah.
That's extreme.
Yeah.
6 articles about children doing what they want to do. That's extreme. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I hate to encourage a police state, but maybe children, live in this life that they're living that is without repercussion and reproach. Maybe they do need some sort of police state.
Listen, back in the day of the Hebrews, they took them out to the city walls and stoned them. They acted a fool. Because they didn't believe in the word.
Because you're going to fuck up our society.
That's what they believed. It was very big on that.
We're prideful about all that we've created together as a community. That wasn't ego from the from the top of the brass. That was look what you're doing to everything that we've all contributed to.
Yeah.
No, I don't think we can have you here.
Yeah.
Or they would. I know they used to outcast people.
Yeah.
They get excommunicated. Nigga, you got to go somewhere else. And if they accept you, good on you. But you better not tell them you came from here.
Hey, Bree. Welcome back, man.
I'll read that again. On Monday, the Progressive Democrat urged the public not to demonize the hordes of rampaging teens who set cars on fire, clashed with police, and damaged private property. Then it said the couple was taken to a hospital by ambulance, but without their phones, wallets, and even shoes, all of which had been stolen during the attack. I told the couple that I was going to go home and find them some shoes so that they wouldn't be barefoot for the rest of the night.
That's crazy.
She told the outlet. God bless her. She gave us shoes, took us home, and took us to the hospital. Thank you so much. I don't know where we would have been without her, Knudsen said. The Good Samaritan said, do unto others. That's a mantra that I live by every day. Just do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Johnson, who suffered injuries to his face, shoulder, and back, described the terrifying incident to Fox News. It was very random because all we were doing was we had just left Nordstrom and we were looking for somewhere to eat, and we saw that group and they just thought that they were tough and they wouldn't move out the way. Just out there being stupid, young and dumb, trying to prove a point for nothing, he recalled. But prove what point?
Yeah, there's nothing.
That's gonna be my thing this entire time is prove what point. Again, let me reiterate. Rebels without a cause. Why are they rampaging? Why are they stampeding the town? Why are they terrorizing the public? For what reason?
And granted, anybody can say like that guy has said on Instagram that back in the day people did it. It was never at this amass. It was never at this type of level of amount.
It was never without a cause.
That too, but we're talking about the ones that did do stupid stuff. They used to call them, leather jackets and cats like that.
Oh yeah, greasers.
Yeah, greasers. So it was never a thing of how it is like this.
Trying to prove a point for nothing, he recalled. Police said no one has been arrested in connection with the attack. If you're on if you're on YouTube, you will see even more photos. I'm talking about, I mean, even just between these two articles, what has it been?
Yeah.
Well over 50 photos of what these children have done. You know, and I'm starting to notice a theme too. A lot of these kids are wearing pretty nice clothes. They seem to be pretty well taken care of.
I'm saying.
You know, to be out here causing destruction and pillaging the city, essentially. In a statement, police said the reckless, disruptive, and violent behavior that was seen downtown this past weekend will not be tolerated. We actively and continuously review open source social media, and additional resources will be available to protect those who are visiting, living, or working in the areas of large gatherings, police said.
They're making it where nobody want to come to the city.
Yeah.
They scared. Can you imagine the millions they're going to lose?
Sure. You know, and all that does is take away from all of the different resources that the city needs to keep it running.
Yeah.
You know, local governments are definitely, you know, there won't be a lot of subsidies. There won't be a lot of funding for different projects and schools and such. You know, the kids are really taken away from themselves. Maybe someone should sit down and explain that to them. You know, it's a little important.
Well, will they care? You know, that's the
Will
thing.
they understand? That again, that starts at home. The parents don't show them that all of this shit matters. You know, Mayor Lori Lightfoot called the teens' behavior reckless, disrespectful, and unlawful, but added that many were there to enjoy the unseasonably warm weather. What does that mean? As I've said before, we as a city cannot and will not allow any of our public spaces to become a platform for criminal conduct, she said in a statement. Most importantly, parents and guardians must know where their children are and be responsible for their actions. Instilling the important values of respect for people and property must begin at home. I'll read the comments later because I know that's, you know. Y'all ain't talk about the Kia kids yet. Who are the Kia kids? Inform us. I will talk about some punk ass kids. You got, are we going to another article?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which one?
We're going over to the Walmart closing because of this behavior that you're seeing with these kids. Because not only were they just out in the street beating up on people and stomping cars, but they were stealing from stores, which has been happening for a while now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kids going in groups, walking into gas stations and grocery stores and supermarkets and CVS's.
Oh, it moved up to 4. It was 3 the other day.
Yeah.
Now it's 4.
Now it's 4. They hitting them hard, man. When you get kids doing that kind of thing, there's always been stealing from teenagers and youngsters. Like, you know what I mean? I told you my story the first time I ever stole. It was the last time I ever stole.
You did not tell me that.
Yeah. When I was a kid. It actually happened in Chicago. Look at that, right?
I used to steal.
I went into a what was it? Kmart. I think it was a Kmart.
A Kmart.
Yeah, it was a Kmart. And I got one of those. Do you know what a balsam plane is? With the loop propeller?
Yes, I used to fuck
yeah. So it was a Walgreens. It wasn't it was a Walgreens. I went into Walgreens and my mom went in this store and I went and I stole it. Got home and I put it together.
Yeah, you had a good time and shit.
Beverly Skinner looked and said, "What is that?
Where did you get that?
Where did you get that from?" I was a good liar. Then I was like, some man at the store bought it for me, gave it to me.
You should have said school, nigga. You fucked it up. You fucked it up. Nigga said that they gave it to me at the store we just came from. I didn't steal it.
Yeah. She walked our ass all the way back up to that Walgreens. Walked up in there, told that white man, "You tell this man you stole this, and what is he gonna do?" And he was like, "Man, you want me to get the police?" And my mama looked at me, she was like, they acted their asses off, man. They acted, and I was crying, and I was like, no.
Don't get the
I was 6 years old.
That's funny.
Never stole again.
No,
never stole again. That terrified.
It's embarrassing. It is terrifying.
And it was embarrassing as well.
Yeah.
And it was terrifying.
There was shame associated.
A lot of shame. A lot of shame.
Who's teaching shame?
Yeah.
Because shame, I believe, is definitely to be understood.
Yeah.
At a young age,
Yeah.
you should feel shame for certain things.
It works in conjunction with your consciousness.
Absolutely.
And
your morality.
Yeah. Absolutely. Which is what's missing. Because I think when you see kids nowadays, especially these mamas that goes in Burger King acting fool, you know, that's how the kids is raised.
See their mamas jumping on counters and shit. And, you know, motherfuckers, again, driving SUVs up through Popeyes. And, you know what I'm saying?
Chasing people down in the street with it. Yeah, SUVs. Yeah.
But, real quick, excuse me. Lady Muse said, y'all ain't talking about the Kia kids yet. Too old. Oh, we're too old, man. Yeah. Well, listen, man. TikTok trend kids. Apparently that's a thing now. Stealing the new Kia cars. What is it? Some sort of like.
Yeah, no, I saw it.
Some shit that they could easily break into them.
They know how to steal the Kia cars. They pop the collar and all that stuff in a matter of 2 minutes. A minute to 2 minutes.
They need to use that power for good, man. Go steal a politician's car or some shit.
But people been stealing cars for years. I mean that's
But how young are these kids? I would is the question I would ask.
12, 13, 14.
Yeah, that's well. But then again, you know, my dad was wild.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I don't know.
Back in the day when you had the key,
but he was also one of the only child mechanics in his. You know, he had the Slim Jim. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know, if that innovation was used in another way, it'd be genius.
Can you imagine? Yeah, of course.
That's why I said they're
look, this is the difference between black kids' crimes and white kids' crimes. White kids hack.
Sure.
And they hack.
White collar and blue collar. They actually hack.
Yeah, they hack.
Not some bullshit.
They teach the CIA and the FBI how to do stuff that they don't know how to do. 12 years old. That was that whole movie War Games. That kid hacked into a system, played a game with this damn chess system, and the chess system was going to start World War III.
He said, but niggas wasn't dumb enough to put it on the internet. But, I mean, what else didn't happen?
What, hacking?
No, well, yes. Are you talking about that, or are you talking about, like, our parents, you know?
No, because she's still talking about the Kia thing. White boys are all up and down the dark web, telling you
all of that shit.
Telling you how to make bombs and everything. Yeah, they're kids. They love telling how they do their stuff.
Episode on the dark web, I don't think it's too about that.
Yeah. So it's just listen. Their sense of knowledge is knowledge you have to go look for. Yeah. These dumbass kids want to go out and do nothing for nothing.
Again, rebels without a cause.
Rebels without a cause. That should have been
anonymous.
That should have been the name. That should have been the name of the title.
You know,
we'll
Walter. We got time. But you know, we got entire communities of them people, man, where they're just taught differently. They're exposed to different things. Mm-hmm. You know, they understand value. Mm-hmm. What are our children being given? You know, how is it that our community continues to fail the children and in turn really failing themselves? Mm-hmm. You know, like I said earlier, I have no idea how these behaviors are going to play out the future of our community. Mm-hmm.
But what
will be left in the next 2 or 3 generations?
But isn't there a point? Because there has to be something that goes on in the individual where they decide they want to do right. Because if you can know right from wrong, right? But you know, like old boy was saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? Which is just like, bro, look me up and see what I'm doing. But besides the point, there has to be a point where you and yourself decide.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Where you yourself decide.
Yeah, you can't be 30 still complaining about what your parents did or did
or
not.
What the community didn't give you and what the old heads didn't give you. Because a lot of times,
you stand up.
A lot of times there is somebody there and cats don't care anyway because of maybe what they're going through.
Or they like at their age too.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it's a strange disparity between the younger and older generations. Mm-hmm. Man, I never understood it. Because you can get knowledge on both ends. Mm-hmm. You know, you are well-to-do, if you decide to embrace the knowledge from both ends.
Right.
What's going on, Ivan?
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, Walmart closing in Chicago, 4 stores, up 1 from 3 the other day. 4 stores in Illinois will close doors, joining a growing list.
So for what's going on with stuff like what happened in Chicago, a lot of businesses are being affected by it. Walmart, you gotta understand, came in and closed down a lot of other smaller mom and pop stores and supermarkets. They couldn't compete.
Although they
with
shut
Walmart.
out, they shut out a lot.
Yeah. Even Fresh and Easy. Remember Fresh and Easy?
I love Fresh and Easy.
Yeah. And
They're if you know anything about Fresh and Easy, I don't know who's watching, but you know they're the clearance aisle at Fresh and Easy.
yeah, that was
You know what I'm saying?
You go there, you good for the
You
whole
got
month.
everything,
You
yeah.
for the whole month. The vegetables was different because the vegetables
They're
were
clean.
real, they were clean.
Yeah.
And that's what people didn't understand when the Fresh and Easy was moving into the smaller, impoverished neighborhoods. It was like,
I thought that was great.
But black people didn't see it as being anything because they didn't respect it.
I'll tell you what, nigga, me and my mom and my sisters was up there damn near every day because the Fresh and Easy was right next to our Walgreens down in San Bernardino.
God rest the Fresh and Easy.
You know what I'm
They
saying?
did move some of them for some time into the wider areas.
Yeah. I'm sure they still probably got a couple of them open, but they couldn't compete.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause
Yeah.
nobody cared.
Yeah, nobody cared.
And weren't they fully self-checkout too? Yeah. Fresh and Easy, you know. Shout out Fresh and Easy.
They had good potatoes.
You know what I'm
Good
saying?
potatoes. They had these potatoes that
That was
were
where I learned about
already made.
probiotics.
And yeah, absolutely. Because they had a whole section.
Drinks and,
Yeah.
you know.
Wow.
Man, Fresh and Easy was the shit. He was in LA. Huh? I was in San Bernardino. So yeah, Chicago, they closing down 4 Walmarts because these niggas ain't shit. All right, these young niggas ain't shit. You know, let's not mince words here. These young children are out of order. They don't know what they doing.
They'll see soon.
You know.
It'll affect them soon.
So, Walmart announced plans to close 4 stores in Chicago this month, citing performance and profitability. That was some good PR. The retail giant said Tuesday that its Chicago stores haven't been profitable since the first one opened almost 17 years ago. That's crazy. 17 years, 2006.
Mind you,
I brought up 2006 earlier, didn't I?
Yes, you did. A lot of black people worked at these Walmarts, man. So they losing jobs.
That's insane. They're about to who was it? Was it Detroit?
Yeah.
Detroit fucking flopped on itself.
Yeah.
But that wasn't necessarily because niggas was nigging.
No,
but
yeah,
still, it's gonna be a similar result.
Yeah, pretty much.
Where ain't nobody gonna have jobs.
No.
Niggas gonna have to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And those who stay,
Yeah.
you know,
Survival
hopefully
of the
they have
fittest.
some drive to
Survival of the fittest. Yep.
resurface the infrastructure.
Yep.
But anyway, the retail giant said Tuesday that its Chicago stores haven't been profitable since the first one opened almost 17 years ago, collectively losing tens of millions of dollars a year. The location's annual losses nearly doubled in the past 5 years. That's insane. Over the years, we have tried many different strategies to improve the business performance of these locations, including building smaller stores, localizing product assortment, and offering services beyond traditional retail, Walmart said in a statement. That's crazy. I mean, they really were trying, they trying not to lose that money. They're trying to corner the market out there. The Chicago stores will close to the public by April 16th. Damn. Oh, y'all niggas' time is up. It's April 25th.
Yep.
Or do they mean next year? I doubt it.
No.
Pretty sure they meant this year. Employees are eligible to transfer to another Walmart or Sam's Club store. Well, good for them. Which Walmart locations are closing? I won't read them off, but they're all in Chicago. Little Village and Lakeview, Kenwood, Neighborhood. So it's 2 neighborhood markets. Or 3 neighborhood markets and 1 supercenter.
That's crazy.
It's unfortunate. The pharmacies will remain open to serve patients for up to 30 days. Oh, well, nigga, I mean, they're still closing. Walmart said. Walmart already had announced plans to close 10 stores and 2 experimental pickup locations across several states, including Illinois. The company told USA Today last month that it decided to shutter the stores. Oh, that's old school. Jesus. Very ancient word. We don't even have shutters anymore. But that it decided to shutter the stores because they didn't meet financial expectations. Walmart said it invested millions of dollars in its Chicago stores, hoping their performance would improve,
but the investments have not materially improved the fundamental business challenges our stores are facing. The remaining 4 Chicago stores continue to face the same business difficulties, but we think this decision gives us the best chance to help keep them open and serving the community. Well, y'all niggas is closing. You ain't keeping them open. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, you tried for 17 years. I get it. I would have closed that shit down too.
Yeah, you know, it was a lot of theft.
Theft?
They had to put up with that inside theft as well.
Vandalism.
Yeah, vandalism. Yeah, I saw some of the footage online. The stores, one of the stores was somebody destroyed the plumbing system. Flood the whole store.
Dickheads, man.
Flood the whole store. The girls in there crying. She was like, "What we gonna do?" This black
I'm
woman,
going home. Fuck this.
Yeah.
I might move. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, fuck that, man.
Yeah.
It ain't worth it.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But that's what's going on from all of that stuff. These kids are out of control, man. They are out of order. They're out of order. You know?
No, that's insane.
First and last, last and last. So, yeah.
First and last one.
Someone, my boy. First and last. Someone. Yeah, man. You know, we're reading these articles to show you how grave it is out there. We got another one.
Is this the same? We still?
No, this is a different.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah. So.
Oh, did we finish the? Did you want to finish these or?
No, we're done with that. Yeah, we're done with that.
Fuck that.
I wanted to. There, you know, when people say, "Well, you know, I think y'all overreacting," blah blah blah. You see it in the schools.
People been saying that we've been overreacting since No Child Left Behind.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And look at the effects of that. These little niggas can't read.
Yeah.
Not even that they don't want to read. They can't
Mm-hmm.
read.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
sad.
And it's bad. I mean, you know, if you got a kid in school, they're supposed to be in school, but they got a phone or a video game.
Take it.
Yeah.
Stomp that shit out.
Yeah.
Man, I used to get my video games too. All the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't even a bad kid.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, nigga, you didn't, you forgot that you had to get up and handle it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Take that.
Yeah.
You know, it was never over grades, but it was never over grades, but it was, man, you got responsibilities around this motherfucker. You're not going to stand up to him, and you think I'm going to walk in here and see you playing video games on a Saturday morning?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's sad, man. You know, people say, well, you know, the teachers need to step up. But if you got to go to school and be concerned with your well-being, so now not only do you have to be able to teach these little badass kids, you got to know how to defend yourself.
Mm-hmm. We got something set up for that right now.
Yeah, we talked about that several times, and we also have had that question, you know, brought up to us during some of the seminars we've done for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Teachers are like, man,
I know you guys are here to teach the kids, but what can you do for us? Because these motherfuckers getting out of control.
To be concerned and fearful of your life while you're teaching kids, which is supposed to be a loving thing.
Yeah.
To give knowledge, to give insight, and to build someone up. I mean, I went back and saw all my teachers after I grew up and got out of school.
Today.
Absolutely.
I respected them.
Right. Personally, thank them. Thank you. You know.
You know, shout out to Mr. Weaver, man, the best counselor I ever had. He, you know, he really got me through some rough times. You know, good black man.
Yeah. I never once, you know, I think the wildest thing I ever did was I had a teacher, I can't remember her name, but she was an English teacher, used to wear glasses, kind of heavy set, and she was reading us poetry one day, and me and my Prince mindset, for whatever reason, I was just in that mode. She said soft, and I said wet. And she closed the book, and that was the end of that. But, you know, I got to laugh, but at the same time, I felt stupid because I was like, I really wanted to hear the rest of that poem.
You shut it down for everybody.
I did. With the stupidity of wanting to be in the movie.
Kid.
Yeah, funny kid. Wanting to get laughs, wanting the kids to like me. They liked me for that moment, but afterwards, we had to sit there for the rest of the class.
How many of them can you call right now?
Yeah, none of them. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, but that's as far. How you doing, man? What's going on, Yasuki?
As far as you took it.
Yeah, Amore. That's Amore. As for me, I never ever once thought of putting a hand on a teacher.
No, hell no.
never once thought of cussing them
There
out.
was some hating ass teachers, but
Well, I mean, you got that.
I knew to just
but,
go home.
Yeah, you know, or your mom would, or your dad would
Mhm.
say something to them.
Tell your parents.
You know, my mom went up one time and talked to one of the teachers at high school because she could tell from what I was doing and everything. She, you know, she was like, "Yeah, out of all the teachers, everybody said, you know, he's doing really good with you." And she, you know, she spoke with him. You know,
She investigated.
black mama way, but she spoke with him. But it was no disrespect. It was just a thing of like, you know, I could tell you got something out for my son. You know. And of course, he denied, "No, Miss Skinner, no." But we had those types of teachers. And we still got those type of teachers that don't like black kids,
For whatever
like
reason.
black girls or black boys or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't give you right to beat the shit out of the teacher,
No.
ever, unless your life is on the line or in jeopardy.
So
These
here's
kids
something.
are whooping the asses of these teachers, man.
I'm gonna say this because I don't. At least I haven't seen. I think that teaching should be considered a civil service. They should have a government pension.
Okay. Yeah.
They should have much better health care.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 20 to 30 years in that profession should give them a good retirement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Because it
agree.
is a civil service.
I agree.
We're talking about shaping and guiding future generations for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's at least 15 different generations of kids over a 30-year span.
Mm-hmm.
And they struggle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They struggle to make ends meet.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of them, when they're really loving great teachers, spend their own money to buy tools,
resources, food.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, holding parties and shit for these kids,
Mm-hmm.
or celebrations and such for these kids. You know, but they understand the reward system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, keeping a young mind enthused about learning it.
And they want
Better
someone,
themselves.
and they want them to know that someone cares, because that's important for kids. We understand
It
that.
is.
We understand that. But these kids, this ain't got shit to do with care. Ain't got nothing to do with attention.
Rebels without a cause.
Mm-hmm.
All of these children,
Mm-hmm.
rebels without a cause. I have no idea what it is that they're even fighting.
Mm-hmm.
They got the best technology, state of the art, and it's available even to homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a smartphone.
They can get a phone, yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
the resources overall, man. I'm talking about nicer clothes. You know, it's so much easier not to be an outcast
Mm-hmm.
and such these days.
More convenience.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it. You know, and I don't believe that there's such a disconnect between generations that we can't compare
Mm-hmm.
or cross verify.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or between our generations, because they have it, you know, so much easier. And I know one of the jokes that we used to see a lot in sitcoms, you know, they'd have the old, you know, Depression era parents or World War and World War II age parents, where they would keep telling the kids that they're weak.
Mm-hmm.
The world is getting soft. Things are changing. And the only thing that's changed for the better, in my, you know, I'll say personal opinion because it isn't professional, but I pay attention to everything, man. And the only thing that's really gotten better over the years is the technology.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What's the point of all this technology with broken mindsets, with mindsets that don't see beyond immediate gratification?
Yeah, you know, we talked about it in a very early show that we did, Lester Crowley, the Do What Thou Wilt.
Mm-hmm.
Law is is every
damaging.
Yeah, it's done its job, man.
It lends its hand to chaos and anarchy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, YOLO, you only live once. Anything, just do it. All of those monikers, all those mottos, people absorb that into their everyday life, man.
Yeah.
You know, and then they don't think about somebody else. You know, the kids, it's just like, remember those two girls that crashed, they carjacked that man, and he was holding on to the car, and they crashed, and the car flips upside down and crushed the man. But as they were pulling the girls out the car, the girls like, my phone.
Not my life, my phone.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get my phone. It was crazy.
Not my
It's just
well-being.
yeah.
My phone.
Her phone.
Jesus, man.
You know, and she was, you know, working to get out of there. I wanted to
Yeah.
to this other article we could
To
go
that
over it.
technology.
Yeah. You see, but then there's another story too of the girl fighting the teacher over her phone. Which I didn't pull it. You seen that one, right?
Yeah.
Do you know, they got on the teacher, man. A lot of people getting on the teacher saying she was wrong.
Oh, we should have brought up the one with the lady on the bus, man. We could talk. We could still kind of continue this on Thursday.
Sure.
And bring those up.
Yeah.
Because I thought that one was great. She was like, you know, she was getting on them kids' heads on that bus. My grandma was a bus driver. It was for public transportation, not for kids, but. You know, she had crazy stories about these motherfuckers getting on this bus. And,
well, dude,
you know,
bus riding is free for them.
Yeah, thinking they just gonna do what the fuck they want to do.
Back in my day, it cost $0.25. But
Some
if you had no money,
it was hard, nigga. You get on that bus if you want to and act the fool. You know what I'm saying? So real quick, god damn, what? It's a tall motherfucker for a child. What is it? That has to be high school.
Yeah,
ain't no way. God damn, fuck that kid.
Yeah.
I mean, for you tech geniuses watching, you know what I'm saying? I know you feel me. We get rid of shit like this real easy. Yes, sir. In our way. No, they tried to stop me, but guess what? I got 3 options. Oh, they fighting. Hold on. No? Man, the other site let me get rid of it. All right, New York Post.
The Post.
I'll give you that. Ah, yeah, nigga, I got your ass. Didn't I? Ah, shit. All right. Well, whatever.
So welcome back.
Yeah, I thought I had it. Whatever. You know, don't put this on my resume. Quit. All right. Anyway, I did get it.
You changed it. It went to trans runner beats 14,000.
Oh man, that don't count.
14K women.
God damn it. Shit. Hold on. What? Oh yeah. Well, listen, man. I can only do so much. All right. Well, fuck it. Whatever. I tried. Well, no, it is going. Yeah, fuck yeah. Video shows 6'6" student beat teacher unconscious for taking Nintendo Switch. Imagine that. Ain't that some shit? God damn it. A disturbing video shows a 6'6" Florida. Oh, it's always got to be Florida. God damn. Florida Man. You should watch Florida Man on Netflix. A disturbing video shows a 6'6" Florida student beating a female staffer unconscious inside a school this week after she confiscated his Nintendo Switch video game device. The infuriated 17-year-old can be seen sprinting toward the female educator, who turns and spots her assailant a split second before he shoves her to the floor. God damn. The 270-pound student then repeatedly stomps on the unconscious paraprofessional, I gotta call her a paraprofessional, inside Matanzas High School in Palm Coast before punching her 15 times. When I was bodybuilding, the highest I ever got was 240.
So you can imagine, because you already know your weight.
240. A 270-pound 6'6"er? God damn, man. The 17-year-old beat a teacher unconscious because she took his Nintendo Switch, the video shows. Several other staffers who witnessed the brutal assault come running to pull the boy off the teacher, who was rushed to a local hospital. She is expected to recover from her injuries. A separate video released by the Flagler County Sheriff's Office shows the attacker being placed in handcuffs inside a classroom at Matanzas High School. The student stated that he was upset with the victim because she took his Nintendo Switch away during class, police said in a statement. And if you're on YouTube, you can see these still shots. Look like he about to, you know what I'm saying? He giving it to her right now. And that's, you know, that's laughing at the insanity of it, not at the, you know, the outcome or even at the occurrence itself. It's just, it really is insane that this is going on. You know what I mean? According to an arrest report, Arriving deputies found the teacher bloody and unconscious. 17 years old, bloodied. Someone who should be a civil servant. Because if they were civil servants, guess what?
Yeah.
They would have to qualify.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. The rampaging student who lives in a group home, that kind of explains it, began spitting in the teacher's direction, telling cops that he was going to kill her when he returned to school. Oh, well, that's a terroristic threat.
Yep.
He's
Yep.
not only is he expelled, he might do time for that.
Well, this is the thing. At 17, the damage was done. The years passed where they didn't help him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know,
The
not
rest of
taking
his
into
life, he'll have
account.
that disposition.
Yeah, and not taking into account this kid. Look how big he gets.
Even if he heals his trauma, he'll still have that disposition somewhere deep down to where it'll trigger him. And if he doesn't have the discipline to push that down, or say, you know what, no, I understand that feeling.
Yeah.
Let me walk away.
Let me walk away. Yeah.
Deal with that internally.
Yeah, but even at 17, for a video game to be the thing to trigger him being taken away, he done lost his mind.
I get it. That might be his only piece.
Yeah, well, that's where they made that mistake. Because listen, if he's in a
they
group
were
home,
nurturing him.
yeah, if he was in a group home, I'm gonna tell you, man, he was probably the king of the pride, man. He was probably.
I would assume nobody fucks with him.
Nobody messed with him.
276.6.
Yeah, that's football. He would have been like, why didn't they groom him towards that?
Because it's a group home.
See, that's an issue.
And group homes are more policed than they are guided.
Right. Yeah.
So, and I can only imagine today. I know that whoever it is that's running that group home is probably just getting that check. The rampaging student who lives in a group home began spitting in the teacher's direction, telling cops that he was going to kill her when he returned to school. While he was being processed, the teen repeatedly asked the deputy when he was going to be released and began kicking a desk and becoming violent when he didn't get the answers he was hoping for.
Like no remorse.
Because he knows he's going to get out. And more than likely, he's going to get out. That's crazy. He should get 10 years or something, We're talking about assault, nigga. 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
That's battery and assault. The actions of this student were absolutely horrendous and completely uncalled for, said Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley in a statement. We hope the victim will recover both mentally and physically from this incident. No. Yeah. Nigga, if I was the victim, number one, I wouldn't have been the victim. But if, for some reason, I was the victim, nigga, I'm coming to class strapped. You know what I'm saying? One of these kids might get shot.
Look how that lady built.
Yeah, I seen that. That was insane. I don't know, who knows? But shout out to her. You know what I'm saying? The teen was turned over to the Department of Juvenile. Wow.
Yeah.
Juvenile. He should have went to an actual fucking prison.
Yep.
He's 17.
Yep.
Look what he just did to somebody. Juvenile?
No, they want him to be back in school.
No, nigga. You getting charged as an adult.
Yep.
You think you can go and do some crazy shit like that? I don't know. If I was a cop, I might have beat his ass right there at the school. I don't know, nigga. The teen was turned over to the Department of Juvenile Justice and has been charged with felony battery raps. Felony, but still being charged as a juvenile.
Right.
School officials issued a statement after the Flagler County Sheriff's Office released the disturbing footage. The safety and security of our students and staff is of utmost importance to us, and we will continue to cooperate fully with the local authorities as part of this investigation, officials wrote. So basically, they did nothing.
Right.
I mean, I'd love to hear a follow-up of, how that progresses. But
Yeah. Hopefully she
how that
sued.
develops.
Hopefully she sued the school district.
I would, because there was no safety setting. Where the fuck are they said the teachers was watching and trying to pull cuz up off her, but nigga, where's the security at?
Yeah.
You know, where are the people helping? I don't know, man. I got pissed off.
So, the question becomes, what do we do about it, right? And we all take accountability into our own hands, just like we have to teach these kids accountability. I always say that it's sin nature. It's a thing of, it comes from selfishness. Sin is the accumulation of selfishness. So in essence, if I choose to do something that can harm others, I'm being selfish. That is a form of sin. Sin nature basically is something that is in all of us. And by God is the only way we can get it out of our system. But listen, people throughout the last 20 years have said, don't beat your kids, talk to them, they need therapy, don't force them into any religion. Religion is a form of control. It is a man-made construct. All kids should know right from wrong. You have a conscience, you have reasoning, you know what you're doing, blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, there's no answers on how do we deal with the circumstances of what we're going through right now. These kids are out of control. They're unruly. They're incorrigible. And things are getting worse. They're not getting better. So what do we do? Well, if you are a person that's listening, you're watching, you have your own children, you need to, if you have a dual person household, 2 parents, working all the time, you need to make some decisions to where the children have more of you around. You can't expect them to, just because they have a lot of stuff going on, that they're occupied. No, they need more of a personable relationship. They need more of a person being there, caring about them, letting them know, guiding them, keeping them to a standard. Starting off with what we talked about at the beginning of the show, traditions. Traditions need to be reinstated. Now, we're not talking about bad traditions, and what's bad to one person is not bad to another person. Sitting around the table on a Sunday eating a meal is a great tradition for a family. But for some people, they hated it. You hear people say that all the time. Well, I hated that when I was a kid. I hated that when I was a kid. But if you turned out to be a decent person, a lot of the traditions you did as a kid is kind of what alluded and what helped you to become a decent person. You just didn't become a decent person because you wanted to be a decent person. There's a lot of people that invested time and energy into helping you to become a decent person. So if you really look back, the things that you sometimes may have hated that were quote unquote forced on you because of tradition and discipline, those were the things that helped you to become a better person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times people are quick to be like, oh, I hated this when I was a kid. I hated having to do that. I hated having to do that. I'll never let my kids do it.
One of the things that I remember so much from being a kid is how many of my older brothers and sisters and cousins and uncles and aunts and grandparents and family friends who were adults.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're complaining about that homework right now. I know you're complaining about these chores right now. Boy, what I wouldn't give to go back. Because this shit right now, this is hard.
Mm-hmm.
I wish you have no idea. And I used to be like, man, you grown, man. You came over here in a car and shit. A kid is fucking stupid, nigga. A car costs money, man.
They just see the freedom in things. That's part of it.
Well, what they perceive to be freedom.
Absolutely. Not
really.
Yeah.
Nigga, if all I have to do is chores right now.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And everything's provided for.
Please.
Good.
If all I have to do is chores.
Yeah.
Nigga, please.
Yeah. Listen, traditions are not just the whole family getting up and every year we have our vacation when we go to Disney World.
Right.
I'm talking about the traditions that help you to understand what it was to be part of a family. And
part
I think
of a
community as well.
Loving one another.
Yeah,
how to love another person.
Yeah.
How to care about
Decency.
another person, how to maintain your community. Because that was important too.
Yeah.
Which is how you see little kids interacting with one another and pulling away. I don't even call them bad seeds, but pulling away those who maybe didn't quite get what it is that we're attempting to do here. How we want to shape you all. Let me give you some of this. Because maybe one of the others in the community, one of the other adults didn't quite give it to you in a way that you needed it.
It used to be a thing where parents in the community would tell you about your kid, and then that became an issue. Yep. Don't talk to me about my child. it's crazy to see the things that's going on
Nigga,
now.
look, it was, man, I had to fuck your kid up. Let me tell you, you know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. I had to fuck your kid up.
Mm-hmm.
I had to.
Mm-hmm.
And just off the strength of that parent having to tell you
Oh, you got another ass whoop.
that they had to fuck your kid up.
Yep.
Oh, you had to do what?
Yeah.
They didn't even care what they did.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta whoop your ass just because you did.
You out there acting a fool.
Not only embarrassed us
Mm-hmm.
and brought shame upon us in our community,
Mm-hmm.
you disrespected us.
Mm-hmm.
You disrespected everything that we've worked for. You disrespected everything that I've instilled in you.
Yeah.
Taking the time to instill in you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't understand the love that's going on around here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I ain't saying beat and abuse your kids, but I'm saying, you know, the words that they use, the buzzwords, but I'm saying whoop these kids' asses.
Yeah. There was a whole
Straighten
process
these
in the ass
motherfuckers
whooping.
around. Yeah, you get number one. Yeah, so so look, my nana, you know, rest in peace to her, man. She was a beautiful lady. She had a thing she called the three-way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I think I told this on the podcast before, but nigga, she'll send you out to the mulberry bush.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta bring back 3 good ones,
Mm-hmm.
3 hot ones. And she braided it together.
Mm.
And as she's sitting there braiding it up,
You gotta sit there and watch that.
number one, you gotta sit there and watch her do it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta sit there and watch her do it. And number two, the entire time that that's going on, she is talking to you and explaining to you, nigga, your parents dropped you off over here because they thought that they had adjusted you well enough to come over here and act right and respect me and respect the work that they put in.
Mm-hmm.
To come and demonstrate how it is that they've guided you.
Mm-hmm.
And you gonna come over here and act a fool?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've had hour lectures as a kid. I used to hate that shit standing.
Well, the fear was multi-level. It wasn't just.
It was that, but that's discipline.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
That is discipline.
I agree.
It ain't just, oh, you did, take my belt off and beat you and all. No, you gonna get this work.
Listen,
They're gonna explain it to you.
I think, and I said this a little bit, but I think what happened was, one of the proverbs is spare the rod, spoil the child.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of times people correlate ass whoopings with the church. Because in the church, you got the ass whoopings more than any place, because if you didn't act
we used
right.
to get whooped at school.
Right.
They had the root.
Right. You see what I'm saying? So, or the paddle, and I think what happened is that those people that grew up because of the rudiments and the traditions of their life, they hated so much about that I'm not ever going to do that to my kids. Not realizing that tradition of that is what got people to where they got to. Yeah. Because we talked about this in the last show. If we don't take care of our own, the city will.
Yeah, they will.
The government will. Them cops wait. Them cops are waiting to get your kids a certain way. They are waiting to get your kids a certain way.
Absolutely are.
And granted, look, there are some kids that are horrible and act a certain way. They're incorrigible. So if the cop comes across 15 of those and you're one kid, respectful and everything, how you think you're gonna treat them? Just like those other 15.
Whether that be, ain't no telling what kind of legislation these stories that we read today are gonna bring about. But
man, Chicago
that could easily include gunfire. That could easily include, physicality. You want your child to be caught up in that? Yeah. Our mom used to beat into us. Mm-hmm. My dad didn't have to say shit. She used to beat into our heads. And not literally, but she made it clear. That's the crowd you don't want to be a part of.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And as a kid, you still a dickhead. You might dibble and dabble a little bit. But even having that fear in your heart, having that knowledge is important. Because it aids to discipline. So I don't know, man. I don't have nothing sweet or fancy to say at the end of this episode. I don't think we had enough time in this 2 hours, honestly. There's no perfect thing that I can say about any of this, man. And I know we had the clickbaity title and all of that, but parents, man,
and you guys are of my generation and afterwards right now with these kids, got to do something better. There's only I have not met too many other people like me, you know, putting their best foot forward to reshape the community and rebrand our you know, our national presence. The world don't look at us, you know, and I know that, you know, this is about all kids, but, you know, I care about black kids. Our national presence, our collective public image, man, the world is not understanding. God damn it.
Oh yeah, it's over.
They be hating on this side. I mean, it is the end of the show. We at 10 o'clock, but, you know, just, man, take care of these kids.
Yep.
I could go on and on. We got Thursday, you know, so we'll catch up with you guys on Thursday. Man.
Invest in them or invest in coffins. It's one or the other. It's rough.
Plain and simple. So, well, you guys have a good rest of the week. We'll see you on Thursday, man. We're definitely gonna follow up on this because we got to talk about the lady on the bus. You know what I mean? And
the lady in the
lady in the school, the
class,
teacher who took the phone, and man, we got a lot to talk about. But we got to do something about these kids, and you know, 2 or 3 of us can't do it for everybody. There's no such thing as a one-man army. And right now, our community has no army. No army of parents, so we'll see y'all on Thursday. We'll follow up, and man, y'all have a good Wednesday. it's only you know, another 2 days. Man. Y'all have a good Wednesday. So everybody, good night. Thank you for tuning in. Muscles on his lonely back. I stay calm. In fact, I've been on the grind so long, hoes could never call me that. Please keep it short. I don't speak for all the rap. I'm your mechanic. I don't want no parts of whack. Keep throwing those of wax. Man, look, every beat got a birthday. I just make it special. If it came to whistle, baby, we can do that. Check the room the doses and show you where your shoes at. Exactly where the proof at. I ain't gotta prove stats. I don't need the hookup. I've been staying blue-black, straight from where the news at. Life-size showdown. Story I survived. Made them live remote.